Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Book channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review the graphic novel Stray Dogs. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, it really helps me out and it lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. So Stray Dogs is a graphic novel that's coming out this week. And the reason why I wanted to do it this week is because it was kind of like a sleeper hit in the indie world, and especially with me. I just picked it up because I thought the premise sounded interesting, and it was in the art was so not what I thought it was going to be based on the premise that I had to pick it up just to see what it was. So this book is basically the premise of it. It's been said is Silence of the Lambs meets like a Don Bluth Disney movie, or Homeward Bound meets Hannibal. It's a book about talking dogs that all live in a house, and the person that lives there with them, the human, is a serial killer. And that's like the general premise of it. That's what got me into the book. And so if that sounds interesting to you, I would say check this one out for sure. It's interesting because it's pretty much only that premise. There's no real other hooks or anything, but because you're invested in the dogs and everything, you if you like dogs, this is a book that you could read in probably a half hour. It's 5 issues long, and it sucks you in, and it's got such a nice, easy plot that you want to find out what happens because you like dogs. That for sure you will like this. Now, I will say there is some violence in this book. Like, I don't know, like I said, there are serial killers in it, or there's at least a murderer in it. So if you have any aversion to things like that, be forewarned. And also there's some violence towards animals in it. So be aware. It is like Disney violence, but that might make it worse. I don't know. Anyway, the story of this book is there's a dog named Sophie. She's on the cover, and she is at the beginning. We see her and her owner, who's this nice young woman. We don't see their faces. It's kind of like a Tom and Jerry cartoon or something, where we never see the adults' faces in it, the humans. And I think we only see the killer's face with glasses on, like sunglasses. But other than that, we don't really see any human faces. It's always like from the dog's point of view. So we only see like from the legs down usually, or if they're holding the chest down. So, but the owner is taking Sophie to the vets, and Sophie is like, I don't know, a little Pomeranian or something like that, like a little tiny dog. And so they're going to the vet to get some vaccines and whatnot. And then they make sure they set this up because it's kind of the only thing you have to like believe in this book for it to make sense. Like the only conceit you have to make is they're talking about dogs' memories, and the owner saying, oh, I always think she's so scared of the vet because she remembers the last time. And then the vet goes, oh no, that's not how dogs' memories work. They can only remember like little things maybe, but usually it's only about a week of like memory, and then they forget everything. So that is the kind of crux of this, because then we cut to like a week later, and Sophie's now in the arms of a new person, a man now, and he's driving her to his house, and he brings her into his house and introduces her to a house full of other dogs. And when I say full of other dogs, there's like 15 other dogs in there. And they all like her right away. They're all happy to see her. She's kind of freaking out, like, what's going on? Stop sniffing me. And like I said, this is all from the dog's point of view. So it is like all her being like, please stop sniffing me. There's too many things going on. What's going on? I don't know where I am. And it's kind of her getting used to this environment. She does not remember her original owner, and we do not know what happened to her original owner. They don't really show the man as like evil or anything in it. I'll say the most they show him is he's a hunter. He has animal trophies on the wall and stuff. So other than that, like the only other thing that you might think is evil is the dude wears combat boots. So that could be contrived as who wears combat boots normally. He's not in the military. He looks like he's got kind of army surplus pants on, and he wears those boots. He definitely has a look that you could, if you saw him, you might be like, hey, that could be a serial killer, but probably not. But he is. And at first we don't know that. We're just following the dogs around the house as Sophie gets to know all the other dogs. Of course, all the other dogs have names and personalities, and we get to know them. Some are new as well. Some are like, hey, I've been here for like just over, two other dogs ago or whatever. They have a different timeline than we do, so they don't say the same time as time frames. But some of them are like, oh, he's been here the longest. There's like another dog that's been there forever. So then Sophie never really warms up to the place right away. She's still scared, and she accidentally pees on the rug, and then she's really scared that she's going to get in trouble, so she hides. And this is where, like, by the end of the issue, the first issue, we get like the big reveal that of what actually happened to her owner. And so, in order to calm her down, he's like, "Here, you look cold. Let me give you this blanket to wrap yourself in." And it's just happens to be the red shawl that her owner used to wrap around her neck when she was cold. And then she has a flashback. She remembers. Sophie sees her owner, like Sophie's hiding, and her owner's like, "Come on, Sophie, what's wrong?" And then you see the man behind her start to strangle her with the red shawl. And then she's screaming out for Sophie, and Sophie's just hiding. And then you see the body on the ground. So you get to see what the dog now remembers. This guy killed my owner. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then she tells all the other dogs. She freaks out, and the other dog's like, "What are you talking about? How do you know? You don't, you just got here. You don't remember anything. You didn't even remember like your name and stuff earlier." So, and she's like, "No, I just had a thing." And then another dog says, like, "Okay, well, I believe you. Tell me exactly what happened." And she goes, "Tell you what happened with what?" And so that's how the first issue ends, with her remembering and then automatically forgetting that her previous owner was killed and murdered by this guy. So that's kind of like the crux of this story is the dogs. Sophie is trying to convince the other dogs that, as she remembers more, the master's bad, the man master. And not only that, but that he potentially killed all of their owners too. So some of the other dogs start having flashbacks as they start thinking about it. And they remember they had a nice girl owner as well. So it seems like this guy will track down young women who have dogs at a dog park. He uses these other dogs that he's already got from other women and to like spark up a conversation with them, get to at least know them or start stalking them, and then will murder them and then take their dog and maybe a couple other things for trophies and then keep those at the house. That leads to a bunch of other, all the other dogs are like, "We have to get out of here." Then there's some dogs that are like, "No, you're all crazy. The master wouldn't do that." It's kind of a quick story. Once that kind of happens, is the dogs all start remembering, and now they're trying to actively get out of the house and find their other masters and stuff. So also there's a room that they aren't supposed to go in. That's like the master's room, and they're trying to get into there to kind of prove to the dogs who don't believe them that this is really happening and that the master is actually bad. So I don't want to spoil everything in this book because it is, like I said, a simple book, but it's got some really high, like, what the fuck moments. And so I don't really want to, spoil anything too big. Just know that it is a good book. It's a solid story. I mean, I kind of wish they would make this into like I wish this was a Don Bluth movie, like for the new generation or something. Like if Don Bluth came back and just made this movie and then was like, yeah, this is like the Don Bluth darker stuff. I would love that. But probably won't get made into a movie because it's a little too dark with serial killers and whatnot. But one thing I liked about this is the writers knew exactly what they were doing. Like I said, they planned on the tagline kind of being Lady and the Tramp meets Silence of the Lamb. So a lot of the variant covers or second and third printing covers of these books were all based on like movie posters of horror movies. So you had like Silence of the Lambs and like Jason and Scream and Evil Dead. There was just like a lot of fun covers they did for it, which I liked a lot. Definitely, if you get a chance, check out all the covers that they have. I don't know if they're going to come out in the trade. Like if they'll reprint all those, they probably will, if I had to guess, maybe at least on one page. But yeah, like this was just like a really fun story. And especially if you like horror like me and you're looking for something different in comics, it's not horrific. Although there was some parts that I almost teared up on because there's, it's dealing with dogs, they'll get you. So For sure. You really feel empathetic with these dogs because it is like Disney-esque, and you really feel for them and what's going on. Definitely check this book out. I would give it a 4 out of 5. It was really fun. They're definitely coming back with a second season or a second series of it, like another 5 issues. So I'm kind of interested to see where it goes from there. I think that starts in February, but definitely check this trade out this week. It comes out today, and have yourself a good time reading about some fucked up Disney dogs. But with that being said, we will see you guys on the next one.